Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first official press conference reaction on this channel. And unlike any other fan channels, we're going to react to it live as the boss answers his questions today at half one. There's going to be loads of stuff to get into. We're going to talk about Luke Shaw. I'm going to talk about Luke Shaw in a second. Garnacho and Christian Eriksen, as Hassan says there in the chat. If you are new, Hassan, make sure you do smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. So we'll definitely touch on that. He's going to be asked about Marcus Rashford, his contract situation, and maybe even David De Gea's as well. So he's going to get a lot of questions thrown to him today, and it's going to be very interesting as we go through it live as well. So yeah, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Now, before about a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, before we're supposed to go live, we had some breaking news coming out from like Laurie Whitwell, The Athletic, and a couple of others. I think Ornstein might have reported it as well, who's obviously, I think, is a part of The Athletic. So yeah, basically an agreement between Manchester United and Luke Shaw for a new 4-year contract. And this, like I said just then, this should be the first of a few. And I'm sure Ten Hag's going to be asked about loads of them. But given Luke Shaw's performances this season, I would, argue it's more than deserved. It's been fantastic this season. The question is, where would you rank him amongst current left backs in the world right now? So let's just talk about Luke Shaw for 10 minutes, and then obviously we'll go live for that press conference. That's going to happen. Don't worry about that. Just a little 10-minute segment on Luke Shaw because I think it's interesting. Another 4 years, currently 26 years old. And when you compare him based on merit this season, amongst other left backs, you've got Theo Hernandez at AC Milan, fantastic. You've got Alphonso Davies, who's looking good with Bayern Munich again after I think he had some heart scares or something along the lines of that. Zinchenko's been fantastic for Arsenal as well, of course. Can't miss him out. And then you've got other ones like, I think Balde, when we played against Barcelona, at least, he looked really good. And I was a fan of him, and I've watched him on a few separate occasions as well, and he looks decent. But yeah, there's a multitude of left backs. Obviously, everyone has their own kind of individual qualities, what they like to see in them. But I think Luke Shaw's more well-rounded than most of them, to be honest. I think, every bit of his, attacking game, his defensive game's pretty much solid. You'd say 7, 8 out of 10 on most days. So there's definitely a discussion there about top 5. Would I put him in the top 3? Probably. I probably would, to be honest. Right now, I'm not obviously we're not talking of ridiculous stuff like all time and all that bullshit. But right now, I think, if he can maintain this form he's in, keep developing, because as I said, he's only 26 years old. We've got his prime years coming up, which is exciting. Like 26, the next 4 years, you got 27, 28, 29, 30. They're your solid years as a footballer, typically, unless you're Wayne Rooney or Michael Owen. But you have your prime years. And if he can maintain the level that he's doing right now, I think most United fans would probably say they're happy about this contract situation. They're happy about him extending it out. Of course, if it was, his time under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where many other players, felt the kind of lack of coaching and not the right direction. Whereas under Erik ten Hag now, you can see that's completely different. There's a lot of players that look like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, Marcus Rashford, like a lot of the individual performances in comparison to under Ole, that they look like worlds apart. And you had obviously Luke Shaw had his moments under Jose Mourinho as well, when Jose Mourinho was saying, he's using he's using my brain whilst he's on the pitch. But now we've seen him perform at centre back against Erling Haaland, that probably one of the toughest strikers you're ever going to face in football. And Erling Haaland did nothing, and he was playing at centre back. Position he's played there once or twice. I know he played in the back of in a back five for Ole Dinny on the left side, but that's completely different because you've got more security there. Playing in the back four against Erling Haaland is and he did fantastically well. He's still got him in his shorts now. Maybe that's why he's not in training for Man City, because he's still in Luke Shaw's pocket. He's becoming a leader as well, Luke Shaw. I think I've certainly noticed that a lot. He is starting to become a leader on the pitch. He's really maturing. He's got all the athletic ability, despite what people say about him being, obviously have the fat chance and all that kind of stuff, which is just crap, because many people referenced him as one of the strongest at the club, one of the quickest at the club as well. And he's a great finisher, and he's got a fantastic cross. So what more could you really want? If you're absolutely nitpicking in this Luke Shaw bale of hay, you could potentially say, oh, he's not electric quick. Like, he's not a Teo Hernandez or he's not an Alphonso Davies. But I think he more than makes up for that with a lot of his, other bits of his game. So I think that's absolutely fantastic news about Luke Shaw. I really do. Let me know how you feel, guys, in the comments section. I'll get into the comments now. Hassan saying, welcome back, Man United fans. Please talk about Eriksen Garnacho. I've touched on that. I will talk about them as we go through the press conference live. Sam saying, if it was up to me, I'd nail to one of the Chelsea contracts 7 years and ridiculous release clause. Are you referring to Luke Shaw there, Sam? Let me know, please. Dave Lewis saying Luke Shaw should be moving easily into his prime now. His injuries mean he has less minutes in him, so he shouldn't trace a bad burnout. I think that's a very good point as well, in it. To be honest, I've not even mentioned the injury. To come back from that horrific leg injury that he had, where he just basically snapped his bone, to come back and, he obviously had his peaks and dips and stuff. But I think it's a hard one because a lot of people judge it off how it's been under different managers. And I think he's had a bit of a tough run, especially under Jose Mourinho. Like, Mourinho really damaged that guy's confidence. The way he was speaking about him in press conferences, and we know sometimes his man management with certain players just wasn't. I don't know what it was. Because obviously Jose Mourinho saw something there that he wanted to pick out. And he didn't like about his, the defensive side of the game, and was costing him at certain times. But so how is that? If you look at him now under Ten Hag now, I think it's been almost flawless. It's been unbelievable. So how can one manager really get that side out of play? It's interesting, isn't it? We think about the dynamic, how because some people like the tough love thing, like with Mourinho. Some people really performed for Mourinho under pressure in big moments. Even when he was getting criticised, some people took it as motivation. He used it. And I feel like he used that with a lot of players, but I don't know, man. I think Luke Shaw has been sensational this season, and I think he's probably the best left back in the Premier League at the minute. You could argue Zinchenko. I'm sure Arsenal fans will throw Zinchenko in your face, but I think he's been as good as Zinchenko. So that is the discussion. But when you're talking about Europe and in the world, top three, I'm probably saying Teo Hernandez, Alphonso Davies, and Luke Shaw as your top three right now. That could change within the next couple of months, of course, but. So yeah, we've got loads of news breaking around Manchester United in a minute. It's very, very interesting. Look, some negative stuff, which we're going to touch on in the breaking news show later on. We're going to be live about 6 o'clock with that. So me, Shreyas, and Adam, we've got loads of stories to get into. So we kind of broke it up. I'm doing a little bit in this, and then we'll do a little bit later on. Subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you haven't already. And I'll read out some more comments. Get your questions in as well. I'm here to interact with you guys. It's important. So please do get your questions in, and we'll discuss. Sam saying someone labelled him from one of the best finishers. Yeah, it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yeah, he said he's one of the best finishers at the club. And I'm pretty sure within that same kind of week or moment or somewhere near it, he scored that goal against City where Henderson started it off. He threw it out to Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw chested it down, drove right up the pitch, had a link up with Rashford or Martial, I think it was, 1-2. And then Luke Shaw hit it first time, clean in the corner. And you can see it from his delivery as well. He's obviously a great technician because how many times have we seen him put a ball in and Casemiro score from it? I'm pretty sure it's happened in the cup a couple of times. Happened in the final. It happened against, was it Barcelona where it was offside? He's done it quite a lot. Like from that left-hand side, he's dangerous off a set piece. And that's something I don't think gets spoken about enough with Luke Shaw. He's fucking really good this season. Really, really, excuse me language. I know it is an afternoon show, but he's been fantastic. Let's have a look. Shaw is well-rounded player and is performing consistently under Ten Hag. Yep. He's easily one of the best fullbacks in the league right now. He's pocketed Haaland and he's been playing non-stop for us, says Shreyas, every 3 days, and the performances have been high quality. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me put a poll out and I'll see what people think. I imagine, I know what people are going to say, but you're more than welcome to have your opinion. So, that's a Q&A. I don't want to do a Q&A. YouTube, you stupid pillock. Let's do a poll. That's what I want to do. So, let me type it out. Are you happy with, my fingers are so shaky because I've had a cough. I'm like, ugh. Are you happy with Luke Shaw's contract renewal? Fucking hell, type, Nick. What are you doing? Let's see. Ask your community. Always smash a like on the video as well. Try to push up to 20 likes per video, given the audience. And obviously, if you're new to the show, we have loads of content. Absolutely loads to go from watch-alongs to previews to shows with special guests. Like we had Jay Motti on the other day for a 90-minute nightmare show, which was a very fun show. So I advise you to check that out after this. if you're lacking for content, match days, like everything. We've got loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of stuff. And make sure you follow us on socials as well. The link, Sam's just put a link in the comment section, or you can go to the description as well. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram for your regular updates. Of course, when that Luke Shaw news broke before, within minutes, posted on Instagram, posted on Twitter. So if you want regular updates around that, yeah, you're more than welcome to. 100% saying yes so far. So fantastic. I'm just going to, I was going to say, I'm going to go live then. I'm not going live to Ten Hag. Like, yeah, we've got Ten Hag on the phone. Get him up. I'm going to pop the press conference on. So the way I'm going to work this is I'm going to pop this off. Well, not off. I'm going to keep it on the microphone. I'm going to pop one of me, Chris. Is it Chris Amos, who was the ones with the AirPods? Was that the geezer? He was constantly sat on the sideline with his fucking AirPods in, listening to sort of probably a Will Smith album or something on Michael Jackson. Right, that's connected. I don't want it to connect to my chair because if it comes out, you're going to hear Ten Hag coming through the fucking speaker on here. So let's see what Eric Ten Hag has got to say. I hope there's not a delay because usually you go on it sometimes and you've got some ex-player, waffling shit, in all honesty. Let's disconnect, you twat. There we go. Right, that's disconnected. Then we go on to United's thing. It's a bit weird doing it live, isn't it? It's like a watch along with a press conference. It's very, very strange, but it's a good one to start with. It's definitely a good one to start with because he's going to get asked shitloads of questions. So I'm going to go through it with you guys, and then you guys kind of bounce back to me. Let me know your thoughts on the comments. And yeah, we've got a couple of minutes. So if anyone else wants to throw some questions in 2 minutes before we dive into this press conference, please do. Scoreboard 4, I think he's our best left back since Dennis Irwin. Wow, better than ever. Amazing. In fairness, what's he been here for now? For 8 years, Luke Shaw, is it? Mental, innit? It's been that long. I think we signed him when he was 18, so yeah, he's 26 years old now. Been here nearly a decade, which is mad. Absolutely mad. He's been under 4 or 5 different managers. Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ragnick, Ole, Ten Hag. He's had 5 different managers, Luke Shaw. How mental is that? Absolutely mad. We're going live very shortly, hopefully. If you could, who would you go for next season? Kim Min-jae or Timber? Timber for me. I haven't seen enough of Kim Min-jae, to be honest with you. I want to watch him a little bit more. I was watching Napoli highlights, by the way, the other day. And I can almost pronounce that guy's name on the wing. That is it, Kvaratskhelia? Something along the lines of that. Fucking hell, what player he is, by the way. I did not know how good he was. I heard bits about him, and I heard he was doing bits for Napoli, and he's been a major kind of contributor to their season so far. But I watched him, I was like, what a player he is, by the way. Unbelievable. Him and Osman. Politano as well has been great for him. Like, they've got their whole team's really chipping in with them. And they're a team that likes putting crosses into the box, get to the bylines, a little bit like City, and creating chances from there. But in terms of defensive flair, I haven't watched him enough. So I can't really give you a proper assessment on that. Whereas Yuri and Timber, I have seen. So I'm a big fan. Ten Hag's worked with him before. I think they make the transition super easy coming in next to Lisandro. Just makes sense for me. I don't know what you guys think. Well, Yuri and Timber's 21 as well, so you could always put out to Varane and Lisandro probably main starting ones, but you're going to get game time at right back. You're going to get game time at centre back. You're going to get game time here, there, everywhere, maybe in the midfield because Yuri and Timber under Ten Hag moved into midfield in the system, and he was very comfortable there. So I think you would get enough game time out of him. Catherine Sherry saying, where is press conference? It's just going live in a second, Catherine. So make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as we go through. I'm just going to turn notifications off because I get all the press. I'll dive into the press conference very, very shortly. So here we go. It's live. Let's go. Let's see what they ask him. First section is embargoed. Get your coffees. Real red coffee. Let's go. Marcus Rashford, what's the injury? He's got good hope. Fergie tactics there. I had to do some treatment and individual training, but it's looking good. One more day. I've got good hope. He'll be fit. Luckily enough. Now his contract situation, first pop for there. Internal thing, process. He's not going to talk about it. Typically, you're always going to get the answer, aren't you? When we have news, we'll announce it. Yeah, all the things behind the closed doors, basically, that's ongoing. That's the situation. You know, the board of directors will deal with it, and then we'll announce it when we've got news. Melissa Reddy from Sky Sports asking about Luke Shaw's contract. You should have tuned in to Real Reds, Melissa. Oh, apparently he said, I don't know. If he's signed, I don't know. But he's smiling, so. Is that, has he? I don't know. Fuck knows. I don't know, Jeff. Is that the same with Rashford? You'd like them to remain at United? Yeah, true. Very blunt. Touching more on Rashford's performance now. What you've put it down to? Why has he improved? He's not Harry Potter. He's just said. He's just said he's not Harry Potter. What a legend. Saying he's not a wizard, but the things he's done this season, let's be fucking clear, mate. He is. He absolutely is. Look at Wan-Bissaka's performances. You're a wizard, Eric. You're a wizard, Eric. All right, Harry. All right, Harry. Oh shit, he's dead now, isn't he? Rest in peace, Hagrid. As long as Catherine's saying, as long as it's not Harry Maguire, we're okay. I think we second that notion, Catherine. He's definitely not a wizard, that Harry, is he? You're a wizard, Harry. He's not a wizard. He's a bloody, I don't know what he is. Oh, is Marshall available? He's training. Oh, fucking hell. He could be in the squad for Sunday. Need to work on your Hagrid. Do you think? You're a wizard, Harry. What about that? Is that any good? I think that's quite good, Hagrid. No? He could be in the squad, apparently. That's what we're hearing about Marshall. So, better. I mean, this is kind of regurgitation about Marshall's great scoring abilities. You know, when he is fit, he contributes. But yeah, that's great. But he's never fit. The guy's never. He's a box of China plates. He's frustrating. When he's in the team performs better. Back to Rashford about his scoring career best. Neil Custis, fucking hate him. The Sun. Bruno, Sancho, Martial, McTominay, Anthony. Back to the squad. Always painting the narrative. It's a team game. We're not focused on individuals. Neil Custis just said, well, Marshall's never available, mate. He just said, as I said previously, I work in the back for next season as well. So he's got his eyes on the future. Transfer window in 2 months. He didn't say that, but yeah. On Sunday's game, Newcastle. Referencing the quotes before the final when he said they waste time and all that kind of gibberish. We know they delay. It's a tough game on Sunday, isn't it? Newcastle to be fair, at St James's Park as well. Oh, that's gone cold. Fucking hell. Oh, that's grim. Oh. So I said we need someone who could be there for us. Regos has already got more minutes than Martial and he's signing the winter window. I know. Crazy, isn't it? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. 16 people in the chat. Smash a like on the video and get your comments in. We're talking about Eric Ten Hag's talking about Newcastle currently and how annoying they are, time wasting. But he's saying that we should impose ourselves on them, dictate. But we're aware of how they approach games. Fresh body warmer. Eric, has to be said. Probably about 200 quid on United's website. But what's 200 quid to Ten Hag? Fucking dollar, mate. Last question of the press conference is Samuel Luckhurst, a little worm, asking about New York and the debacle with Southgate. Could be interesting. Does Ten Hag have a problem with that, of him going to New York? This would be an interesting answer. He thinks it's positive he was on a break. That's because you told him, Eric. That's why. Busy fixture schedule. Understandable. Yeah, agreed. It's just basically it's a positive thing. Basically saying, up yours, Southgate. Suck on that, Gareth. Yeah. What you might as well have said, Ten Hag, is no one cares about international friendlies, mate. I don't care if the qualifiers. This is United. You know, he's from Wivenshaw, mate. Yeah. Rashford's going to be available on Sunday. I'm telling you now. Neil Custis tried jumping in and said, "Do you say they don't start for their international teams?" He was like, "No, I said they start." Neil Custis, you pudding. Bog off. I can't stand him. He's a proper little weasel. You know them people you just look at and you're like, "You're a squealer." Neil Custis is a squealer. Sits there like, "Oh, we'll get a headline out of this." Oh, we've got a super chat from Sam, but it doesn't say anything. Just a super chat. Thank you very much for that, Sam. If you want to do that, you can click the button at the bottom. And that's the end of the press conference. The first official press conference, not on Real Red Talk, but the first official reaction to the press conference. Yeah, speaking about Marcus Rashford there and contract situation, his performances, basically essentially said he's happy with the way he's been performing. And he said he's not a wizard, he's not Harry Potter, which was a standout line. But he's improving and he's happy with that. And he's not bothered about him going to New York. He felt like he needed a rest. Spoke about Martial, saying he'll be in the squad for Sunday, but wouldn't touch on whether he'll start or not. So that'd be interesting to see if he does. We'll discuss that more on the preview tomorrow, because we'll have that about 5 o'clock Saturday. And spoken about Luke Shaw's contract, which he knew absolutely nothing about. So that's interesting as well. Yeah, I think that's quite a good, decent press conference, to be fair. Got everything we needed out of it. Didn't touch on De Gea much. Well, I don't even think they asked him at all about David De Gea. I did want to hear some little bits about that. But yeah, I think everything you kind of expected at the time, you got out of that. So let's have a look at some of the quotes, because I can't remember every quote directly, but we'll have a look. Rashford spoken about. Let's go to... So asked about the need for another goal scorer. He said, "I think we have players like Bruno, like Jadon Sancho, like Anthony Martial, like Scott McTominay, who obviously a lot of people are raving about his best thing since sliced bread because he scored 4 goals for Scotland. I mean, fair enough. like Anthony DeSantos. We have enough players with capabilities to score goals, definitely. The capability, yes. The execution, no, not this season. They haven't. They haven't been. I think how many goals Sancho got? 3. How many's Anthony got? Like 5. They're not contributing nowhere near enough. If we didn't have Marcus Rashford this season, we'd be knackered, absolutely knackered. Because Vegas has come in as a striker, he scored 2 goals, so he knows that there should be a lot more goals in this team. Our goal difference 6? I'm pretty sure it is at the minute. So we definitely need more contributors to this team. That is something I would have come back at him. I said, well, it's fair enough. You're saying they've got the capabilities to score. They possess the talent. Absolutely. I agree with you. But are they executing it this season? Because I don't think they are. And that's something that they need to look at. Maybe that'll all knit together in a sense. Fred's got a few as well. Yeah, scoreboard makes a great point there. Fred has got a few. By the way, there's 11 people in the chat. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra member for the price of a pint per month, you get exclusive content, really good videos. I dropped 2 recently about the ownership, the 10-step plan that we want from him, and then had a look at every striker we've been linked with and done an in-depth analysis on that. So that's exclusive content for the members page. You get a chance to feature on the show and obviously get a badge next to your name, the Real Red Ultra badge. So if you want to do that, just click the join button next to the notification bell. I'll dive into a few more quotes. He got asked about Scott McTominay, Eric Ten Hag did. He said he can play many roles. It's clear he has scoring capabilities for Scotland. But also this season for us, he's a really good finisher, but I see him as a midfielder. I see him going to Newcastle, to be completely honest with you. If we can get, what do you reckon price-wise for Scott McTominay? What do you think we'll get for 30, 40 million, something around along them lines? I don't mind him. He's a great trainer. He's a bit of a, you saw Jose Mourinho was gloating about him in terms of how he goes about how he conducts himself, how he is in training. But I just don't think there's a level required. When Casemiro goes off the pitch, the drop-off is, magnifying. You can see it so much. So I think Newcastle, I think it's Newcastle. I think we get 30, 40 million. You maybe sign Sabitzer for 2025. You got a bit of money to wiggle about with there. Maybe it's just a thought. I don't know. So he also said, so it's about the lineup, way of playing. It's about coaching talks, informal. It's about coaches working with him. And especially it's a lot about himself because he's the one and he has the skills. So when he is in the best thing, the best mentality, then a combination of things as to why Marcus Rashford is performing the way he is. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. On Luke Shaw signing a new contract, just the last one, because this is quite funny. He said, if he signed, I don't know. I haven't heard. John Murtaugh didn't inform me until now. I have to wait for that. If it's true, I am pleased. We definitely want to keep him because he's a really important player for our team. So overall, it's a bit of a positivity press conference, really. Talks with Marcus Rashford seem to be going well. He's obviously having a phenomenal season so far. Luke Shaw signing another 4-year contract is amazing news for the club. Happy for him to be on for the next kind of 4 years, as you said. And most players are fit coming back into it, apart from the obvious ones. Christian Eriksen's still got a couple of weeks to go. Garnacho, I believe there was something, he didn't mention this in a press conference, but there was something to do with him having to play for the under-20s in April. So he might be back in a couple of weeks as well. Sabitzer's been training, so Sabitzer's ready. He had a little bit of a knee injury, didn't he, with Austria. So all in all, you've got a pretty decent squad to pick from there for the trip to St. James's Park. Fascinating. Can't wait for that game. It's going to be very, very tough. One of the toughest games of the season because Newcastle defensively are very resolute, especially at home. So that is a tough game. Please do, if you're new to the channel, please do consider subscribing, smash a like on the video, and make sure you join us for the breaking news show later on. We're going to be live at 6 o'clock with loads more news, in-depth analysis, me, Shreyas, and Adam from the channel. Just going through some big stories. And then we're going to have the preview for Newcastle tomorrow with a load of lads on, and then the watch-along, as always, on a Sunday. The first watch-along I've done, and it feels like about a month, with all the games at the international break and the other bits that were going on other channels and stuff. It's been mad. It's been a mad couple of weeks, but the international break is over. Finally, we can start watching Premier League football again. The Prem de la Prem, some might say. This has been amazing. Thank you very much everyone for tuning in. Really enjoyed it. I'm going to do some more of these. So like I said, if you're new to the channel, consider joining us, because we're having more and more special guests on. We had Jay Motti on from Stretford Paddock the other day. We've had Jonathan Schrager on previously, a well-renowned journalist around Manchester United and the MMA community. And yeah, it's only getting bigger and bigger. So the more people like, the more people comment, the more people subscribe, the better the channel's going to get and the better the community is going to get. And big up to the lads who are on the channel as well. You all know who you are. 7, 8 of them, absolute legends in the cut. My name's Nick. This is Real Reds Talk. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. Hope you have a lovely weekend, and we'll see you later on for the breaking news show, 6 o'clock. Peace.